Welcome to another episode. Oops. Smoke out. Welcome to another episode of You Left Shit Out. I'm your host, Compton J, and thank you for those watching on Rockfin, those on Twitter, those on YouTube, and Facebook. I believe YouTube, Twitter, YouTube. Yes. And today's episode, we got a lot of great topics. Some recent interviews I watched, and I just had to cover them. I just didn't know which day, and today it just happened to fall on today's episode. So, but before we do that, as always, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to reach 15,000 subscribers by April 1st, which is our anniversary. So our 1 year anniversary is coming up on April 1st. And I'll put the video up already. We're going to start with the Chris Hedges interview with Jimmy Dore first. Now, let me get all that out. So subscribe to the channel. We're trying to reach 15,000 subscribers by our anniversary. So help us do that. We need about 800. I think yesterday we just crossed 14,200. So we need about 800 more subscribers. So please subscribe. Tell your friends. If you like our content and you haven't subscribed yet, please do. If you think you're subscribed, but just double check to make sure you haven't been unsubscribed by YouTube. Also, you can support us on Patreon. Just look us up, Revolutionary Blackout, or the actual URL is patreon.com/Revolutionary Blackout. That's where you can find us on Patreon. So let's get right into the topic. So I was searching for some Chris Hedges content and just some recent content from Chris Hedges. And this video, which is not a recent video, also popped up, which, believe it or not, I hadn't seen until today. So many of you probably see the title of the video, of Jimmy's video, and you're like, oh, I know all about this clip. I've seen it before, but I haven't, and today was the first time. So after watching it, I had to cover it because, in particular, when he gets to the critique about leftist politics in the United States, that's the part that really hit home. A lot of it hit home, but that particular part, just as an observer watching the left, a lot of his critiques to me were spot on. So let's get right into it. Here we go with the Jimmy Dore, Chris Hedges interview. We'll be dissecting almost all of it.
Started advocating and organizing along class lines. I've been getting hit with the weirdest attacks. I've been attacked for having a...
Let me rewind, because that first word he says kind of changes that sentence. So let me rewind from the beginning.
Ever since I started advocating and organizing along class lines, I've been getting hit with the weirdest attacks. I've been attacked for having a house, attacked for talking to conservatives against imperialism. They just attacked me for tweeting a mainstream medical research paper. How real do you think the American left is about creating a class consciousness and solidarity?
I think I read Thomas's book, his book before last on the liberal class. I think he kind of gets it. It's the classic attempt by self-identified liberals to feel good about themselves. That's what this is really about. It's about validating themselves. It's about kind of celebrating their moral righteousness and purity. It's not about political effectiveness. It's not really about helping anyone. And the energy of the left, there's a kind of circular firing squad where they spend...
I mean, he jumps right into that shit. I gotta just listen to that because it's so spot on in my opinion. So let me just start that over because he just gets right into the fire.
His book before last on the liberal class, I think he kind of gets it. It's the classic attempt by self-identified liberals to feel good about themselves. That's what this is really about. It's about validating themselves. It's about kind of celebrating their moral righteousness. And
So as you hear him say that, think to yourself, for those who now we're a Twitter family, we're from Twitter, a lot of us from Twitter. As you're listening to Chris, think about instances on Twitter where it's like, I mean, I did a video on this called the weak ass left, or the left weak as fuck, or the left weak AF is actually the title. So, and it kind of sort of talks about this, where it's like we're more concerned with asserting our leftness with applying those leftist ideologies and putting them into action. And that was essentially what my assessment was in the video that I did, because I said it's about level of engagement. And the example I gave was Joe Rogan, right? Got Joe Rogan stories coming out left and right, all this stuff, right? And I said the difference in level of engagement is this. You have the indigenous water protectors, and then you got the regular left. Anytime something comes out about Joe Rogan, how much time do you think the indigenous water protectors are spending on that versus the left? They may spend a split second. Oh, that's some bullshit. On to the real shit now. But what does a lot of the left do? Spend literally days talking about something that doesn't significantly, or is not going to significantly materially change anyone's lives. But we're on that over and over and over again. That is, so that when I'm hearing him speak about this, I'm hearing that's ringing in my head. So let's continue.
And purity. It's not about political effectiveness. It's not really about helping anyone. And the energy of the left, there's a kind of circular firing squad where they spend most of their energy and time attacking you, Glenn Greenwald. This guy's just attacked right and left. Matt Taibbi, and I admire all three of you. And that's where all of their energy goes. And that again feeds into this notion of their own kind of moral superiority. But of course, they're not.
That too. It's the, I'm on the right side of history. And yeah, so I'm there. You're on the right side of history as the earth is dying. What does that really do? So what history actually, when the earth is gone, who's reading the history? Who's reading it? We have to get out of this. Let me say this also. A lot of it comes down to this, is that a lot on the left believe that they're not part of the duopoly. I'm not part of the duopoly. I'm not voting red or blue. Okay. There's more to being part of the duopoly than that. Let me tell you what else is there. The way you approach politics. That part, which we've been conditioned by the duopoly, is absolutely part of the left thinking. This approach to politics that that person agrees with me on that, fuck that shit, I'm out. That's your self-applying divide and conquer yourself. And as I was getting prepared for this video, I'm going to get to this too. I guess I'll write it down. Team up. As I'm analyzing videos about teaming up with the team, what does coalition building mean? What does teaming up mean with people that don't necessarily agree? I'm getting a lot of different understandings of that term. The term teaming up. Some people put a lot more into it than others do. So if you say, so the reason I'm bringing this up, because I did a poll question related to this here, because I'm not sure, I can't remember if they brought it up already, but at some point they do ask about, oh no, they haven't, because I don't know when they do it. When they bring up the fact of teaming up with Trump supporters. So let me share my screen, this other part here. I put out this poll, right? I think that's showing there. I'll make it a little bit bigger. We're gonna get back to the video in just a second. Let's make it a little bit bigger here. So I put this out. Does being class conscious, because as leftists, that's supposedly what we're about. But as my fellow RBN member has pointed out, that's pretty shaky. It's pretty shaky to say the left is class conscious. But does being class conscious mean teaming up with Trump supporter on common ground? The teaming up, this word here is where, to me, I'm finding the most disagreement. When people, they're not talking about this phrase, but as they're talking about teaming up, other people are giving this more meaning than other people are. Let me say it a different way. So for me, teaming up is, hey, KKK member, you want Medicare for all your KK members? I want Medicare for all for everybody else. Let's team up and get this Medicare for all. That's it. That's the extent. That's it. For me, on the opposite spectrum, there's people who believe that teaming up on Medicare for all with the KKK members means that you're saying you're okay with all the stuff that KKK is doing. And for me, I didn't even know this thinking exists until I got into the leftist spaces, because that's bizarre. And this goes back to the part where I'm saying this is where we're connected to the duopoly, but we don't think we are. It's in the way you approach politics, because this thinking of the person's against me on one issue, two issues, so I'm wiping them away. We only apply that to politics. We don't apply that anywhere else in our lives. Your friends, these all of your friends, not political friends, your friends in your everyday life, your real life, do you believe they have every belief that you have? But you're still their friend. You see? We only apply this sort of logic to politics. Something as trivial as fries. If you get some fries from McDonald's, I wouldn't suggest you doing that. But let's say fries from McDonald's and one of them got the little black tip. Do you throw out the whole shit? Or you just take the one with the black tip and throw it out? The approach to politics also is how you can be connected to the duopoly. Let's get back. Oh, so this is the poll. I'm so amazed that it's already gotten 11 or 1,000 votes. I put it 2 hours ago, I think. About 2 hours ago. Look what that is. I'm so happy this is coming out this way. I was such in fear after the trucker convoy. I was so uneasy that this was going to be more 50-50. I was really uneasy about that because the trucker convoy was very, very close. It was something like 44% to 52% or something like that in the poll that we took. So I'm happy it's coming out because clearly class conscious means class, regardless of any other belief. Your class. Trump supporters are part of being class consciousness. Does this mean every single Trump supporter? Of course not. If the Trump supporter is so racist, in order to team up, both sides have to want to team up. If they're that racist, don't worry, people. Racists ain't going to want to team up with us. So don't worry about that. If they're that racist, where they want to go out and hang black people, they're not going to want to team up with us. They're going to have the same sort of logic. If I team up with those niggers on this, they're going to think I'm saying niggers are okay. It's the same sort of thinking that you learn through the duopoly, the approach to politics to self-divide and conquer. You're self-dividing, conquering yourself. So let's get to back to this. Actually, since I have this up, because otherwise I would forget to come back to it. Because there's some comments in here that I would love to read about off this poll here. So let's see. This is Logan. So Logan, friend of the show, Logan, friend of the network. Logan is the person who was on the General Strike Summit who was showing people how to build their own garden, grow their own food is the way I should say it. So the videos you saw on General Strike of a person growing his own food, because he actually showed it, a time lapse, videos of him showing how to do it. That's him. So this is focus on infinity. So let's read what he says. Trump voters, perhaps, who a person votes for in this system is a little relevant, is of little relevance. Oh, okay. So it depends on what they actually believe, who they are willing to leave behind to achieve goals. So there's only one critique I would have with this, and this plays into the part of teaming up. So I'm reading into it now, Logan. So you can always correct me if I'm wrong. I'm reading into it because if you have achieved goals, to me, that's saying you're saying we're teaming up on more than a singular issue. And that's not, to me, that's not teaming up. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying we have to build necessarily a long-term coalition. I'm saying a short-term coalition is what I'm saying. And that's teaming up. And a coalition on a singular issue. We're talking a la carte issues. So I just want to make that clear when I'm speaking about this. In other conversations, if somebody else has a different definition, maybe that's the case. But what I'm saying is in singular. So the left behind part is the part to me that wouldn't be here, because there is no left behind unless you're thinking that you're teaming up on multiple issues. I'm only teaming up on Medicare for all. There is no leaving behind on anything else. Anybody who wants Medicare for all, that's who we're teaming up with. There is no leaving behind on $15 minimum wage, because we're not teaming up on that. We're teaming up on this singular a la carte issue. This is just an example. Just an example. If there's multiple issues. So with the KKK, if they said they wanted to have $35 minimum wage, now we have two issues. So now we're teaming up on two issues. Specific, a la carte. There is no leaving behind. Leaving behind implies that you're a coalition on multiple fronts. So there's some things you're leaving people behind on issues you don't agree with. That's not what I'm saying. And this is the part that when we're talking about coalition building, it is very, very important to discuss what do we mean by teaming up? What do we mean by coalition? Because that is going to determine how that conversation goes. Anyway, so let's get back to I can ramble on, everybody. My apologies for that. Let's get to another comment. Where was we? Actually, let me read his just to make sure I read the entire thing. So Logan, Trump supporters, that's a different issue. You see, earlier he mentioned voters. supporters. Hero worship of a politician is sus, period. This is a historical tradition of anti-establishment elements of the left teaming up with reactionaries to achieve economic goals, only to forget. This is the part. This is where we diverge. He is clearly talking about teaming up in a sense of multiple fronts that I am not talking about. I'm not talking about, because he's talking about historical tradition of anti-establishment elements teaming up with reactionaries to achieve economic goals, only to be forgotten about those goals that have been only to be forgotten, or much more worse, after those goals have been achieved. This is the part where we have a different definition of teaming up. We're not teaming up long term. We're not teaming up permanently. So there is no such thing as leaving behind. That was a great comment to select to discuss. Thank you, Logan, for that comment. Oh, here we go, right here. This person with the clap. Let's talk about this one. There's a German saying which says, if you have one Nazi at the meeting table, then you have a table full of Nazis. This is the reason. I'm not going to say that. That would be mean. So let me say this a different way. The absurdity of this is this. So if I have one white person at a meeting table full of blacks, are we to say that's a table full of whites? Why aren't we saying that's a table full of the people who is the majority? It's absurd, but this is the approach of how did I describe it earlier? Self-divide and conquer. So let's go with this ideology. Let's first establish that the left, we don't have enough people to do anything, period. If we did, it would already be done. That's already established. So what do we do then? Do we stand on this side with this last comment, stand on this side, being righteous, feeling good about ourselves, right? Being alone, losing. Everybody, all the people we're claiming we're fighting for, they're still dying. The planet is still dying, but we're on the right side. I don't understand that. I don't. I simply don't. I don't get that. So if that is your philosophy, fine for you to say it. It is not something that logically makes sense. And I'm just a person. Things have to logically make sense to me. That doesn't make any sense to me. That strategy means you get nothing. The strategy, how I'm saying, at least you would get Medicare for all, which is the thing that you and the hypothetical KKK member have in common. You see? What I'm saying will get the Medicare for all thing. What you're saying will keep thousands of people dying every year because we don't have Medicare for all. Let's get back to the video because we've really not went off, but we've went off astray from the main topic here, because I do want to hear him make a couple of more points, not a couple of more, a lot more points in this video here. So let's continue with the video.
attacking the real centers of power, because if you do that, as my friend Julian Assange did, there's a real cost.
So when did what do you I don't want to be, I want to be optimistic that at some point the people will be able to throw off the chains of their co-opters and all the garbage that has happened with all these organizations that I just gave that litany of that have now been co-opted, from Bernie's Our Revolution to the Justice Democrats to Progressive Democrats, of all DSA, all of them nowhere to be found at a Medicare for All march. It's just amazing. That shows you that so what is there going to be a trigger? I mean, I thought these lockdowns, because none of the country did it like this. Every other country, if they locked you down, they tried to pay most of your salary. They didn't do that here in the United States. What do you think? If that didn't do it, what will something do it, you think?
Well, there already is a backlash. The problem is the backlash is a right-wing proto-fascist backlash. And that backlash has the same kind of roots: the rupture of social bonds, the insecurity, the lack of a future, the frustration, the feeling of neglect. And unless the left begins to address that very real, what Durkheim calls enemy, but that angst and that suffering, and it's a legitimate suffering, then we're finished politically. And that's why I really blame the left, and in particular the self-identified left or liberal class within the Democratic Party, for feeding this kind of proto-fascism. I mean, never forget that Trump didn't create this. This was really created by the Christian fascists. I wrote a book called American Fascists: The Christian Right in the War in America, and I got a lot of heat for using the word fascist. But I'm a seminary graduate. I grew up in the church. I'm both biblically and theologically literate, and these people are heretics. Jesus did not come to make us rich. Jesus does not bless the white race above other races, and in particular the American white race. Jesus wouldn't bless the dropping of iron fragmentation bombs and militarized drones.
This is what Chris is speaking about here, about the whitewashing of the Christian religion, turning Christianity into a capitalist tool. Like, all of this is something that the Black church needs to address. Like, the Black church needs to address this. And I say this to my mom, who's into the church all the time. Like, this is a problem. That the version of Christianity that America espouse and have spread is very tainted by white supremacy. That's a problem. To this day, it's still tainted by white supremacy. The same people who were enslaving us were Christians, so we just went from the fields into the church next with them. How is that turning out for us? The church is a problem. The Black church is a problem for the Black community as far as progress. It is how does Nick call it? A net negative. It does some great things, but when you're talking about net positive or net negative, it is absolutely a net negative, impeding progress for the Black community, in my opinion.
Drones in the Middle East, et cetera, et cetera. So they've sacralized the worst elements of American capitalism and American imperialism. Trump tapped into that, and what comes with it, of course, is this kind of magical thinking, where people are so beaten down by a reality-based universe that has discarded them in many ways, that they walk into this world of God will address their material needs and take care of them and all this.
And this is the selling of Christianity to slaves. You're beaten down, but your hope. Just think about that. You're a slave working 16 hours, getting beaten down, being raped in the barn. But these white people tell us of a place. We won't have to live like this. That you're selling the people this. as you also profess the reason you're doing this is because of this same religion. The Black church is a problem for the Black community.
All this kind of, and of course, this movement is bankrolled by the most retrograde elements of American capitalism, Purdue, Walmart, Hobby Lobby, all these people, because if Jesus takes care of you, then you don't need universal health care. You don't need a union.
Right. And it's the same logic. We got charities for homeless. So the state, the government doesn't need to do anything about it. Yeah. We got charities for that. We got charities to help, people, schools, to help pay for school supplies. That's so teachers on. We have charities for that. Let's let the goodwill of the people fill in the gap for government.
Because Jesus is going to take care of you. So it's a very pernicious movement, and it's only going to grow. I mean, at the end of that book, I spent 2 years on it. I came to the conclusion that the only way to thwart it was to reintegrate these people back into the economy. We're not going to win an argument about creationism or whether Adam and Eve rode a T-Rex with a saddle in the Garden of Eden, as I saw in the Creationist Museum in Peterborough, Kentucky. And this is the failure. The left in this country has forgotten the fundamental importance of economics and the fundamental issue, which is class warfare, which we're losing.
That last part, as a movement, we fundamentally do not get or understand class consciousness and class warfare. That's not to say individual people in the left movement doesn't understand that. I'm saying as a whole, as a movement, that is something we need to get better at. And here at RBN, we're one to learn from you, and we want to teach those who know less than us. It's a reciprocal thing. I said this in another stream. We're learning from you, and we're teaching those that don't understand. So yeah, let's continue.
And of course, they've written all these people off, and many of them are my own family. I come from rural, lower class Maine on my mother's side, and many of them support Trump, and they hold opinions that I find repugnant about, all sorts of people and issues. But the suffering that they endure is real, and we have to go in and address that.
The point that he brings up in talking about his family or something like that, it made me think back to the coalition thing, the teaming up thing, and how we only apply this thinking to politics because I forget what example, but family is another example. It's another example. We all have family members, some more than others, who are completely opposite of what we think. And family members with the way of thinking that some of the left think, we would classify them as leaving us behind. If we were going to say that our family members are not with us on each issue, so since they're not, they're leaving us behind, do we discard our family? No, because that's ridiculous. Because we understand that life and people's different experience and upbringing gives them different opinion based on the same events or things. The approach to politics can also be drenched in duopoly thinking, conditioning. I'm going to keep saying that throughout this episode. The approach, not just voting red or blue.
Address that suffering, address that economic assault. And by not doing it, by essentially celebrating ourselves as moral arbiters and as righteous people, and a lot of this has to do now with kind of linguistic shaming and all this kind of stuff. You know it better than I do. We're finished. We're finished. We're ceding the ground to very, very dangerous forces that may indeed, after the next House elections, take control.
So I hear a lot of people who I call it the establishment left, the boutique left also. say things like we have to organize along class lines, and they don't mean it for a second. They don't mean it, because what that means, organizing along class.
So we kind of preemptively already started talking about this. I knew they were coming here. I think we all do, because we've seen this video. But that's exactly right. And it was an episode I did with Savvy Sab. We were talking about this. Maybe JB was in there too. It's like the left needs to have a discussion on what we're doing about coalition building, because the reason we haven't really coalition built because we haven't established the boundaries. Who is it okay to coalition build with? This is this very discussion we're sort of having right now, and that's what they're going to go into here. So let's let Jimmy talk.
Establishment left, the boutique left also say things like we have to organize along class lines, and they don't mean it for a second. They don't mean it, because what that means, organizing along class lines, means organizing with Trump voters. That's what that means. And they won't ever allow you to even talk to them, right?
That's where I get the poll from. So I was watching this and I said, that would be a great poll question. And I was happy that it came out the way that it did. It's about 68% to 22%, and then various others. I'm just pointing out the numbers for the leftists, because it was a column, a choice to say yes, yes, and I'm a leftist, or no, and I'm a leftist, and also yes, I'm not a leftist. No, I'm not a leftist. So anyway, I'll get back to that poll and I'll explain that again.
If I go on Tucker Carlson to talk to half the country, I get pilloried for it, even though I'm bringing a progressive message. Even after Tucker Carlson credited me with changing his mind about Julian Assange, which means half the country now hears that message. I mean, so they don't want. So that's what drives me crazy, right? We have to, when you organize along class lines, that means you find common ground. A lot of people on the right want to end the wars. They're now for single payer. A lot of them are for student debt relief. A lot of them are always for a living wage. That's enough stuff to organize a political party around. And now if either side wants to get elected, they have to come to us. That's my idea. I'm trying to do that with Nick Brana over at the People's Party. What do you think of that idea?
Of course, Lord Salisbury, who was a shit, but I mean, he said there are no permanent allies. There's only permanent power. Saul Alinsky picked it.
That's it. Permanent. That's it. That phrase that I was trying to speak to earlier about teaming up. There's no permanent allies. This is not about being a permanent ally. That's not what this is about, in my opinion. So let's get back to the video.
Pick this up too. When I sued Barack Obama over Section 1021 of the National Defense Authorization Act, there were a series of amicus briefs from libertarians, Ron Paul, all this kind of people. There are many issues I disagree with them on, but on that we found common ground around civil liberties. So yes, of course we do. I mean, that's the point. But I think we have to understand that the motive of the left is not to be effective. The motive of the left is to celebrate themselves. And if you understand that, then
it certainly feels that way. To say I'm on the right side, and yes, I have the high ground. So, okay, liberal. As the liberals are winning, okay, the liberals have Joe Biden in office. But we want to have this. I'm better than. We're better than. We're more human. We believe in humanity, but we're losing. We're losing. And the people we're saying we're better than are winning. So how long are we going to stay here in this corner alone because we've decided to self-divide and conquer? And we keep complaining. We're going to keep tweeting, Israel keeps getting bombed, but we're not going to team up with nobody to help change this shit. It's infuriating sometimes to me. this thinking. The left doesn't have enough people. If we did, we would have already had something done. So what are we gonna do? It really is as simple as that.
And everything, how ineffectual they are, everything they do and say makes sense. It's not about political effectiveness. It's not about. It's about.
That's it. It's not about political effectiveness, execution of the theories that we love to talk about all fucking day long. There's never an execution. And then when you bring up, you just all talk, I'm tired of your theory. Oh, you can't have theory without this. You got to have both. You keep saying both, but you keep only doing one. All right. We're going to get to the Charlamagne the God, Nina Turner interview in just a second. Let me try to play as much as I can of this, hopefully maybe 2 minutes straight, so we can kind of get through this and be done and get to the next story here.
Building a monument to themselves, and they've certainly done that.
So let's talk about, speaking of Alan Dershowitz, he is also named in the Epstein scandal. He wrote a book called The Case for Vaccine Mandates. I'd just like to get your thoughts on the vaccine mandates and passports.
So I got the vaccine.
Me too.
What?
Me too.
And you pay, and you had health issues over it.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact is,
I don't want no vaccine mandates.
I've seen the politicization of COVID around because of Trump. Not only by Trump, but by people anti-Trump. I remember when Trump was pushing for Operation Warp Speed to get the vaccines as fast as possible, people like Kamala Harris and Joe Biden were on debate stages saying that they were skeptical of it, right? Because it was Trump. It's like the left is willing to be anti-science and to somehow dunk on Trump. And do you see that ever end? When does that ever end?
Well, let's remember that the left. So what is the left? The left is that anointed left that you hear Rachel Maddow supposedly on MSNBC. The radical left doesn't have a voice on the supposedly liberal media outlets. It doesn't have a voice. When I worked for the New York Times, Noam Chomsky's name was unofficially, there was nothing written, never appeared in the newspaper. Now, Noam Chomsky is, I would argue, America's greatest intellectual, although there are issues that I disagree with Noam on, including third parties, but I admire him, my whole understanding of the...
Imagine that. Being able to admire somebody, still speak about somebody, even though there's issues you disagree with. So Noam Chomsky is a hero of his, someone who helped push his political awareness forward. And there's many things he disagreed with him on. That's okay. That's the point of what I'm saying. It's okay. And for the person, let me just say this, and I haven't looked at the comments, so I don't know if it's happened. So the person who responds to what I'm saying by saying, so are we supposed to team up with they always want to point out the worst of the worst? That type of person, just please exit the conversation because you're not serious. Let's just have serious conversations here. People are different, man. People are different for different reasons. Heredity, in their genes, the condition where they grew up. They're going to formulate different opinions. Bernie's coalition. the people Bernie had were people that didn't agree with us on a lot of stuff on the left. A lot. We still was in a coalition with them through the Bernie Sanders campaign. But if you were to turn around and start having conversations with some of these people outside of the realm of the Bernie Sanders campaign, and you hearing their different opinions on things, like the military, for example, like the Israel-Palestine conflict, we're okay with teaming up with those people to elect somebody to a duopoly position, but we're not okay with teaming up with people to tear down the duopoly. Gotcha.
The liberal class of manufacturing consent, his fantastic book on Israel, The Fateful Triangle. I mean, he's a giant. And so, where's Noam? Where's Ralph? Where are all the people who were right about the war in Afghanistan? Danny Shorson graduated from West Point, did combat tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, had the courage to call it out. Matthew Ho, where are they? They may be on alternative media, your show, The Gray Zone, something else. But these are the voices, and I know because I was the Middle East bureau chief for the New York Times, spoke out against the invasion of Iraq.
I think we're going to pause it there and get to the next interview. But I'm going to throw up everybody's comments before we change interviews, just so we can keep the comments with the right interview. And I'm not putting up comments. That's for the next interview. So let me see here. Go back. The next one is this one right here. So we'll get to this, but before, let me turn this down. But before get to that, I am going to throw up your comments, or as many comments as I can, just to make sure we know which comments are with which interview, since we're going to be switching gears here. We're going to be talking about Nina Turner recently went on The Breakfast. I always have a hard time saying that because of the slight accent I have. The Breakfast Club. My family's from the South, so I do have certain words. I do pronounce it a little different. Breakfast is one of them. The Breakfast Club. She recently went on there. Actually, pretty good interview, decent interview. So want to touch up on a couple of points there. But before I do that, let's go ahead and look at a couple of points here. Okay. Nader says Nam got 2-0. Nader has the personality of a rock. Who am I missing? I guess they're having a conversation about that. Nam looks like late stage Howard Hughes today. Okay, so let's get to some other comments, maybe more on topic here. Bernie, but Bernie 2016 and Bernie 2020 were not the same. They weren't the same. I think they were good and bad in both. The good I like in the 2016 is Bernie stuck to his guns more. That's the good. And he seemed to be more militant, more. So that's what I liked about that particular one. And the coalition during that time, I think, was a little more militant. And then in 2020, he reached more people and his coalition was bigger. So there was good and bad, but then he sold out. So it was good and bad on both. So yeah, let's continue here. Let's get past the Chomsky stuff here. Convo Couch interview Black Panther Annie on this topic. It's still one of the best things I've seen on YouTube. So go check that out. And I haven't seen it, so I don't know if she disagrees with me or agrees. And that's not something I fear. Like, go check that out. Having differences of opinions, discussing those, changing minds, that's all great. So go check that out. Maybe she does agree. I don't know. Maybe she does. Okay, so let's see what Leon Scott says here on this topic. I have personal friends and family when I want to spend time with people I like. Politics and movement building is not a social club. It's a place to find common goals and with all people to fight for. That's I like that. And that's essentially part of what I'm saying, that yes, this is not, we're not going to go off and have beers in my example with a cake. That's not what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go, not even like necessarily even a march. It's you go plan your KKK Medicare for All rally march over there, and I'll go plan my so-and-so march over here. It could be on the same day, different places, but we're not to get, you get what I'm saying? You're doing things in conjunction to get the same goal. That's all I'm trying to say here. Yeah, I have to be easier with my critiques. I understand. I'm Sagittarius, so I kind of say things kind of plainly. And I know that offends some people sometimes, so I need to get better with that. Racism didn't go away when FDR enacted the New Deal. Telling the truth is radical. Example, Assange. Democrats are corrupt, but please vote for them. All right, so let's get to the video. Nina Turner video here. Or interview here on The Breakfast Club. Did you hear that? Did you hear that, Democratic voters? I hope there's some Democratic voters listening to this stream. When a Democratic establishment come out and say, Republicans, they're holding up everything. You say, I didn't vote for the Republicans. And they're not the one who made promises. You did. And you control the White House, the Senate, and the House. Don't let them scapegoat it. She tried to. Nina did. And Charlamagne was like, hold on. They're not part of this formula here. You didn't say, come vote for me so I can do these things if I get some Republicans on board. That wasn't your whole pitch. So I'll rewind it a little bit where you can see he cuts her off and say, hey, that's not, we don't care about that.
But let's not let these, we're going to put a however, I'm going to put an answer.
No, but you got to go back to that because she still wants to be part of the Democratic Party. And this is the part where a lot of leftists feel, I can't get with that shit. Like, we don't want your viciousness towards the Democratic Party to level off. They're not in power. You don't need a single vote from them to do anything. Right now, you have that ability and have had it. This is where I really do believe progressive Democrats is a flaw, is a mistake that they make, is to run soft against the Democrats. You run hard against the Democrats if you want to win. It's the same thing that Donald Trump did. He ran against the establishment because people hate both parties. So run against your Republican opponent, but run against the Democratic establishment. Call out names. Losing that, is it fervor? Is that the right word? Losing that sort of viciousness, that edge. It starts to make people think, she's already waning. Like, she's gonna get in there and we're gonna push her to the finish line. She's gonna completely change this shit up. But if you're still speaking like you spoke before you decided to run, that's the Nina people want to hear. That's the progressive, any potential progressive voter wants to hear. Name names. Say Joe Biden, voting for Joe Biden is like eating one pile of shit instead of two, like you said before. Use the same language. Because do progressive candidates think if they think, oh, if I play a little nice, then they're gonna be playing nice? They're not playing nice with you. Do you think if you talk nice, they're gonna, oh, Nina, she didn't call me a son of a bitch. Let me go ahead and put this Medicare for all on the floor. No, they're gonna hate your guts either way. So why not embrace the left by using the vocabulary that's going to inspire the left? This is just a suggestion. I'm done with Democrats. I'm just trying to give a suggestion to Sister Nina here. So let's go. You see, there is no my side of the Democratic Party. This belief that we're giving progressive voters, leftists, there is no two sides. What's up, Rome? There is no two sides to this. Let me take that off so everybody can see. Introduce Rome. Rome's in the building. What's up, man? Just going over this Nina interview real quick.
Oh, shit.
So, just chime in whenever you want. I'm gonna put it back on the screen. Chime in whenever you want to, though. But yeah, let's play it. Let's play a little more of the Nina. I'm gonna rewind it a little more so you can hear this last part that we're talking about.
All right.
We still like that person too. We get it twisted. Oh, they hating on. No, what we hating on is people suffering in this country, and we get lost.
There we go.
And the reason why they're getting lost is that we need to elect more people with a lived experience. I have missed a meal or two. I haven't had to depend on the system both as a child and as an adult.
So this is the part where I finally found the part, the lived experience part. This is what I wanted to talk about. We do need to elect more people with more lived experience. Like, imagine a bunch of Cori Bushes. Now, we all have our critiques, but she's a lot better than the people in there based on her lived experience. And the defund the police thing is one thing I'm that comes to mind, because that's one thing she hasn't flipped on, and she's refusing to flip. And it's, to me, is directly connected to her living through police shootings, living through in the community when all of these things are happening. So I do agree with Nina on that point, that we need more people with lived experience. The problem is we need them not joining the imperialist team with the blue hat on. That's the problem.
Then what's the purpose of putting somebody like us in there when all they're gonna do is put us around rich people, let us on their yachts, let us come to their parties like they did AOC, et cetera, et cetera. We're gonna get pulled in, and then oh my God, man! Like, you can be homeless, You can be a fucking dope fiend, ex-dope head, or wherever the fuck you want. You can relate to the people all you want. But when we're talking about taking over, we're talking about taking over a corporation. Because they're not a party. They're a corporation.
They're a corporation, that's true.
We're talking about taking over corporations. You guys are in like this is monsters that she's not. There are monsters that is ahead of this path that she's not describing to you guys. She's not letting you know that there's real people that will never let anything happen for you. Like real shit. It doesn't matter what you went through in your life. You know, as long as this corporation is controlled by the people that control it, nothing is gonna happen. And I put that on my motherfucking grandma. Nothing is gonna happen for you. You can't vote your way out of this. And I hate it when people like, you know, they talk about how we do need a revolution, how we do need to revolt, how we do need to, you know what I'm saying, really get this shit done. But they always trying to find the easy way out.
Yeah,
they're always trying to find the easy way out. Maybe I can vote my way out of fascism. Bullshit. You vote your way out of fascism by putting yourself in a fascist corporation.
It doesn't make any sense. But let's listen to some more of what she says here, Rome.
These headaches up, you know what I'm saying, trying to split them up. But it's funny how she's saying all the right things, but she's not saying anything that she can do for her district. And you know, I warned you guys about this when they talking about Medicare for all, when they talk about housing for all, when they talking about things that only can be passed federal. If everybody is on the same page in the government, that shit ain't happening. That shit ain't happening in Ohio. It definitely ain't happening in Ohio. It's not going to happen all over. Like these are feel good words. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's good. It's good to want these things. It's good to support these things, but can you actually get them done? How can you deliver housing for all in Ohio, in your district? How can you deliver Medicare for all in your district? I want to know, because if you really believe, you really support and believe these things, you're not going to get, because you know what's going to happen? She's going to get in office, and then she's going to be, when people have complaints about why I don't have this, why I don't have that, be like, oh, I only have so much power.
Yeah,
I only can do this. I only can do that.
Yeah.
I don't. And then her fans and her followers going to be like they did AOC, like they did us on AOC. She don't owe you guys anything. She don't work for you. She worked for her district. What?
I didn't hear her say that. She said that.
Well, I'm talking about what the things that she are talking about. She's speaking on things as a whole. Like, no.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that Nina, cause she could, they could, if you're more powerful where you're at, Nina. You can galvanize more people. Not as a politician, you don't have to compromise your beliefs and disappoint so many leftists. But let's continue.
So we got a copyright claim.
You need to.
Who?
You didn't see all the fucking viewers just dropped. They said that we had taxis. Sebby texting me now. That's why the stream was cut.
Oh, because it doesn't show cut yet. Oh, now it shows cut. Now it shows that it's cut. Okay, I'll put it back up. This happened with Nick before, like 2 weeks ago. The same thing. I was playing a video. I was playing the George. This is so funny because I was just talking about this yesterday on the show. I was playing the George Carlin video.
Man, get the fuck out of here. They are on the radio.
Yeah, I was playing the George Carlin video, and they cut the feed, and then I just had to reconnect it, and like they just cut it, and then they allow me to reconnect it, which is weird. So give me a second to reconnect it real quick.
Yeah, some bullshit, boy.
Yeah.
Let me go hide my Russian stories. My Russian story.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody just saying it right here. Hold on, I'm gonna get it back up. Yeah, exactly. That's exact same thing happened. So give me a second to get this back reconnected, everybody.
I was looking like, damn, what did I say? Niggas started dropping by the 10.
But it didn't drop that much. It dropped by like 75, but We still have a good 250, which is surprising because last time it dropped to like 40 people. Like when I was with Nick, it dropped to like 40 people. But this takes a little bit, so give me a few minutes
it's all good
to do this. How did you find out that the feed got cut?
Yeah, everybody in the comments is tripping like, what the fuck? This and that. I'm like, huh? What the fuck?
Oh, you know what? They may have made it private because it's still running on YouTube. Let me see if they made it private.
Man,
they may have made it private.
I was just
because I'm on YouTube now and it's still streaming live, but I can't see. Maybe it's private and that's why people can't see it here. Let's see. Maybe it's the Breakfast Club Limited. Oh no, it's back up. So it's back up now. I don't know how to make people see it, but now the stream is back up. Yeah, it's showing that it's live. So if you were cut, I guess you're not watching this now because you were cut, but it looks like the stream was put back up. We gained a couple of more viewers, but you see what happens when you're reporting truth. Now you can go on here and talk about all kind of crazy shit, but if you start talking about building power, challenging power, challenging the oligarch, challenging the ruling class, talking about building coalition, copyright. But if I was using the same video to say Joe Biden is just like this and he's great, so this is just an excuse.
I hope nobody clipped that.
I'm just saying this is just an excuse. This is just an excuse. Now the thing is, I'm gonna stop playing the Breakfast Club, because while all of this has happened, I did kind of Google, and yeah, the Breakfast Club is kind of strict with their content. So it could be the fact that it's the Breakfast Club. Also, maybe they made a claim. So go watch the video. Watch the video as long as you can because this shit may not be up.
I guarantee she didn't say shit about police reform or defunding the police or none of that shit. I guarantee.
Yeah. So it's we'll see what happens, but watch it, like the stream, so more people can watch it before or if they're able to take it down. But let's go back to this, Rome. It was another thing I was doing. It's part of the same conversation. I'll share my this shit. Where is it at? I thought I had it up. Oh, it is. This is it. Let me just scroll up. So this is the poll. I don't know if you had a chance to see it. Let me refresh it for any new voters here. Yeah. So this is what we always talk about. You've been in the streets. You've talked to Trump supporters. You've listened to, in the rural, poor, white areas. So the question is, does being class conscious mean teaming up with Trump supporters on common issues?
Which one? How many of you dumbasses is in that 25.9%? That's dumb, bro. I mean, like, why wouldn't you want to flip more minds? Why wouldn't you want to push propaganda?
I was just asking that. Asking that same question.
While we are all going through the same things, we're all going through housing crisis, we're all going through a pandemic, recession, depression. Nigga, what you want? Why not use this time to flip minds, to do things in certain neighborhoods to try to pull them to your side, not by preaching at them or pointing fingers at them or telling them that you better because you vote some type of way. You're not better because you vote because you got a different ideology than it. Like, bro, we are all working class. Nigga, if you are not gonna have a successful revolution with the white libs, you understand me? The soft white libs, you're not. You're gonna have more likely a better revolution with gun-toting Trump supporters. And it's best to have them with the right mindset before shit really fucking pops off. And we really are going through it. And everybody is targeting each other instead of targeting what our target should be. I can't say a motherfucking name, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, this makes no sense. You 25.9%, you need to get out there and go on the streets. Go out there and talk to your neighbors. Y'all probably the same people who y'all neighbors probably don't even know that you are a socialist, you are a communist. I got my flag hanging high.
This is the same point. This is the same point, but I looked at it a different way. I was like, I'm glad this poll turned out at least like this, because I was after the trucker convoy, Rome. I thought, oh shit, these people it's gonna be 50-50. So I'm at least glad that it's not 50-50, because it's just no. I was saying this earlier before you got on. The left is too small. If we had enough people to do anything, we would have already done it. So what are we gonna do? We're either gonna stay small by ourselves in the corner, being righteous and right, and standing on we're better than everybody else because we're on the side of human history as we lose, or we can pull some people with us. And the point that you just made, Rome, is the last point I made, I think right before you got on, which is, why is it that we're afraid to team up with them? Why are you afraid that they're going to influence us? They're smaller. Why aren't you influencing them? Why aren't you saying, yeah, I want to team up with that Trump supporter on this Medicare for all, which they want, but I'm going to convince them on them other stuff? Like, why isn't that your approach? The same thing you just said, Ron. That's what you do.
I don't want to live in no echo chamber. I don't want to live in no echo chamber. I need everybody from different backgrounds. You know what I'm saying? From everybody has a fight and everybody has a place in this revolution. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Everybody has a place in a fight in this revolution, but you have to find your place. You have to find your fight. And sometimes we have to go out and find some soldiers. You know what I'm saying? Because it looked like you motherfuckers ain't gonna do it. They are bold enough to go in the Capitol. They're bold enough to go in the Capitol, bro.
Right.
When they are pissed off about losing a president, but we get shot and killed every day. Come on, man.
Right. This is a funny comment, but it's true. This is what we're talking about. We got a strong 1,000. It's the only way forward. That's what some leftists believe. Like, our strong 1,000, we're going to beat everything. We're not. We're not. We need bigger numbers, more people. What does this say right here? That's 25%. That 25% are breaking points fans. He's talking about the poll. Good point. And there's some good comments in here. Let me read some of these comments. There's some good comments in here. Okay, right here. Example of Western leftists with serious lack of principle. So I guess maybe this person is critiquing that this is now, if I'm taking this wrong, please correct me. But I'm saying that this person is saying vomit face to what I'm saying. The vomit face to the question.
I think he's doing it to the questions, yeah. To the
to the actual
leftists, yeah. To the actual leftists, I said no because he probably shared it. He shared it 2 hour ago. So
okay, so I thought I was reading it wrong. Okay, so and then this next comment is, communists have more in common with conservatives than most of us realize.
Yeah.
You can speak to that a little bit because you've been out in the streets and that's what you talk.
What the fuck you mean you don't relate to Trump supporters? How? Nigga, y'all kids go to the same schools. And actually, like, bro, we are living up under the same shit. The thing is, we take in information differently. We learn differently. That's probably the only thing
that's really what it is. That's really
but you a paycheck away from being homeless. What the fuck, man? How you don't relate to any Trump supporters at all? At all? Because some of you niggas went from fuck Trump will start World War III to calling for NATO to be expanded right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So how are you not like them in any way? Are you serious? Get out of your echo chamber. Yes, it feels good to have, you know what I'm saying, people always agree with you and fucking stroking your fucking ego. Oh, you're so fucking good. Oh, shut the fuck up. Get outside. Go in the real world and try to cancel a motherfucker. Go in the real world and try to talk that Twitter talk. That shit ain't happening. Try to go have them debates with real workers, motherfuckers who working 40, 50 some hours a week. Y'all ain't gonna
look at this comment here. Trump supporters need health care and good jobs too. Or do leftists only, I asked this question earlier, do leftists only care about leftists, having a good paying job, or do we care about all humans having a good paying job, having health care, having their kids feel safe. Like, are we caring about everybody?
12% of Trump supporters were black, right? He had a good vote in black and blacks. Like, y'all gonna leave them out?
Let's see. Okay, so let's back to this. Let me read to another comment here. So, yes, keyword common, as in common, as in commons, as in community. No, that's not what that means. You're taking it too far. I was saying this earlier, Rome, that when we're talking about teaming up, some people take the word further than what we mean. So if I say I'm teaming up with a KKK member to go get Medicare for all, that's it. Like it doesn't mean like I'm hanging out. Yeah, and everything, all the other issues that the Klan member has an opinion on, I agree with. It simply means he wants Medicare for all, he or she, or the person wants Medicare for all, and I do too. Let's team up to get this one specific a la carte issue. That's it. But
we're just using them as an example. Hold your horses, guys, motherfuckers. But we know, even if like most of these motherfuckers are racist, they're going to be closet racist, just like these liberals are racist. Like, we just worked with the Democratic Party. You guys already worked with and for racists.
Yes. That's a good
point. Who has done evil
that.
things? What the fuck are you guys doing, man? You're gonna kill your own movements. You're
already in coalition with racists. You're already in coalition with racists. They're called Democrats. You're already there. That's a great point.
Y'all just didn't exit. I'm like, I just don't get it. And we know, with the further left you go, you start to take off those blue and red glasses. You start to take off your 3D glasses, and you start to see politics for what it is as a whole. But if you still talking about we can't team up with Trump supporters, that means you still playing this fucking. You still got your glasses on, bro. You still got your glasses on. You're not looking at it as a whole.
That's another great point. And let me read this. So what I said earlier, Rome, was what I found in this discussion about teaming up, about coalition building. What I found out is that the word teaming up is where we're finding the most disagreement. Is that you and I think teaming up just simply this a la carte issue, we're getting this done. Other people think teaming up is like we're all together, and this comment right here is what I'm talking about. Like, it's saying when have Trump supporters thrown their weight behind something good?
They just ran in the Capitol.
I mean, that's not as serious. I thought that was saying something different. Let me skip that one. To be completely fair, most of them support Trump because they are confused and have been lied to. You ever thought of that?
Yeah.
That's the point people have been trying to make. Most of us are actually upset about the exact same thing. Just some are brainwashed to be capitalists. That is a great point. Like, Trump supporters also understand that the system is fucking us. They just been propagandized to think it's another reason, just like liberals have been propagandized to think it's a different reason. And leftists feel like we have diagnosed the reason, but it's the same conclusion. But that's a great point.
And you all get the same shit at the end of the day, whether you left or right wing. You all get the same shit. You all get fucked.
This is Comrade K. Now, Comrade K, I know him. Brought him on to the Populist Voice. He's been doing a show on there. Well, this is one of the things we do disagree with. He's Canadian. And his point is Jesus Christ, these poll numbers are scary. So he's an opposite, I guess, opinion of the poll results. But that's Comrade K. But yeah, so let's move to the next one. So this one right here. There is no right or left anymore, only up and down. We need down solidarity to unite against the common oppressor because they are in lockstep against us. The pandemic is war, class war. So is the next manufactured crisis. So this person makes a great point.
Yeah. That pretty much sums up everything. Because you punching, you still punching down. No matter if you punching left or right, or if you punching at a socialist that's not a communist, you're punching at a Marxist that's not a whatever the fuck. Just shut the fuck up and go flip somebody that's not on the fucking. Like, come on, man.
What happened to Sabby? What happened to Sabby's training? You said you don't say motherfucker all the time.
All the time. I think I meant to say all the time.
Where's Sabby at? Is she in the comments still, or she went off to her show? Yeah, she needs to. You need to go back to training. These motherfuckers.
I've been trying, but shit, this shit just don't make any sense to me. Like, dude.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree.
Consciousness, but these people are in your class. How are they not in your class?
Yes.
Like the majority of Trump supporters.
Let's talk about that, Rome. So maybe they're saying this. Maybe there's some leftists who are saying, yes, these people are part of our class, but because of these other differences, I'm not teaming up with these people in my class. Is that what we have?
Well, shit, you ain't going nowhere. You ain't gonna learn a damn thing. You ain't gonna know what the fuck to do when time comes for you to take over and have power and have this possession of power. What you gonna do? How you gonna address these people? How you gonna relate to them? You don't know them. You haven't came to their neighborhoods. You haven't learned the damn thing, bro. You ain't even go to their church and get a preacher some money to fucking introduce you. You ain't did a damn thing. Like, come on, man.
Oh my God. Here goes a comment. So let me see. I think I know this person.
You can teach them on the way. You can teach them on the way.
Well, this is a democratic socialist, so take it from that standpoint. This person clearly says this is a democratic socialist, and I follow Brian also. So this is a person who has the opposite reaction too, Rome. That so many leftists are willing to team up with white supremacists for anything speaks to the complete disarray of the left. I think it's the opposite.
Dude, you are a democratic socialist. Like, where do your power go to? Where do your power go to? White supremacists, no matter how you look at it, no matter how you try to play it and try to go through this and weasel, I'm only a progressive. Shut the fuck up. Nigga, that power going to people that don't need it.
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
This is what we're supposed to have. The results of the poll to me is a good sign, not a bad sign. And white supremacists to get what though? To get Medicare for all. So let me get this straight. This is a good question. So you rather we don't team up with them and not get Medicare for all than to team up with them and get Medicare for all. If that's the choice, that's what you're saying. That you're fine with, what is it? 70,000 people, 68,000 people dying every year to continue that just so you don't have to team up with a white supremacist to get this one issue. Not teaming up with them to go, to a KKK rally to get more KKK members. One issue. That's my question.
And you're gonna leave so many neighborhoods, so many generations behind, so many people, so many minds that you can spark, so many people that you can actually teach hands-on and show them, not how they were wrong. You know what I'm saying? Just teach them how we all was wrong, how we all was. We all played into that political game, but we all need class consciousness overall. And I'm not saying like you ain't got to talk to these racists. They racist and shit like that. They just toxic. You ain't got to fuck with them. But there's a lot of people out there that is willing to learn and listen, man. Because I flipped. You motherfuckers was happy as hell when I was flipping these motherfuckers for Bernie Sanders. I flipped another Trump supporter. I flipped another Trump supporter. I'm all in Trump territory, flipping these motherfuckers back to back to back. But why is it a problem now?
Exactly. Let's break down this imaginary world where somehow somebody is so white supremacist so much that they're going to disregard that and team up with all these black and brown people. So let's dispel that. If the white supremacist is dripping so much with Nazism and all this other stuff that people love to throw in, they're not going to want to team up with us. Don't worry. They're going to have the same sort of philosophy that you have. So don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Because they love to use the extreme, Rome, the the way. Oh, so you're gonna team up with Hitler's son, huh? No, that's not what we're saying. And here's a comment here.
If I do, it'd be the killers.
here, listen to this comment. Why are we always being asked to focus on unity with reactionary, predominantly white folks who tend to be richer than average? It feels like the person is taking the question and adding something to make their answer legitimate, because you're adding shit to it that wasn't there. Okay, so the who tend to be richer, we're talking about class, people. That means they're economically on the same level. So what the fuck are you even talking about?
I can twist this. I can do it. Watch me.
Right? You're just throwing shit in so you can come to the conclusion of no. In your own answer, you make no fucking sense at all. So anyway, and I get turned up about this so much because if black people, since we got here, decided not to team up, to coalition, to team up with somebody on a certain issue, what would we have done? Because there was white people who was fine with us having civil rights, but they weren't fine with their daughter marrying our sons. So they still were racist, but we still teamed up with them because they wanted us to have civil rights. It is so bizarre to think. To me, is such a privileged position to have, because people with no privilege don't have the luxury to decide who to team up with. And I gave you the example, black people. Let's go back to even further than that. Indigenous people. Yep. Like, do they have a choice?
What would they say about Fred Hampton? If Fred Hampton achieved what he wanted to, what would they say about him?
They would call him all kind of things.
Flipping the fuck out of Trump supporters. It probably would be
They would call him all kind of shit. They would call him all. They would be calling him all kind of shit. Yeah, all kind of red brown alliance for all the stuff that he was espousing. Like I said, people in the past, it seemed to be a lot more left. Like the demands they had. Like, we're demanding Medicare for all. They was demanding release everybody from the prisons. You ain't trying them for no crime. We will try them. Like, they was like radical. We barely can't get people to agree on fucking Medicare for all. And we can't get people to understand that poor whites are of the same class. And that last comment is so funny. Let me take that down and stop. I don't want to embarrass this person. Like, that shit was so funny, wrong. But let's get to some comments in our own chat here.
It do feel good to stay on your own echo chamber, man. But you're not gonna grow. I don't give a fuck how many likes and clicks you got. Look, there are certain groups of people in certain, you know what I'm saying, on the internet. Like, you got your black Twitter, political Twitter, this and that. And there's sections of people and no matter, even if you had 1 million, I can click on your shit and not even know who the fuck you is, bro. Mm-hmm. You're not gonna grow like that.
I'm just saying, why don't you want to change minds? Have the mindset of a Jehovah's Witness, of a person who's a religion. People who are religion, they're going out trying to spread their word. They're going out trying to convince people. Why can't we have that same sort of strategy? Yeah, let's coalition with KKK on Medicare for all, and let's flip them on $25 minimum wage. Let's flip them on the military industrial complex. Let's flip them on this and that. Let's have that sort of approach, is what I'm saying.
And super chat. I remember we talked about this because I was saying, like, this is a lot of you guys' jobs, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people that voted no has Trump supporters in their family. So
yeah, that's true.
You gotta, like, bro, we got some real work to do, bro. But if you
we got some real deprogramming to do.
Yes,
we got some real because this is what I said earlier, Rome. Leftists feel like, oh, I'm not part of the duopoly. I don't vote red or blue. Really? Because there's more than the duopoly than that.
Yeah.
How do you think? How do you approach politics? Because that's also duopoly. Yeah. How you approach politics. You approach it like this. That person agrees with is 100 things. That person disagrees with me on 10 of them. Fuck that guy. That's the approach of the duopoly.
Yeah.
So it's not just voting red or blue. What is your approach to politics?
And then you got like, bro. Okay, is y'all mad at Trump or is y'all mad at Trump's support? Because when I'm looking at Trump's political record, nothing he did was really new. Like, really, and he could have went to war, like really went to war if he wanted to. Him and Kim Jong-un kept it together. I mean, who are y'all mad at? Because when I look at Trump's political record and the political record that y'all, with the people that y'all have worked with, I should really be working with the Trump supporters because y'all niggas been working with motherfuckers that poisoning water. Point. What the hell?
That is a great point.
Trump got a 4-year fucking political record. Of course, it's gonna be bad because he's a racist white man. But if you're trying to weigh the scale, if you're trying to weigh the shit up on a Libra scale, then I guarantee a lot of motherfuckers gonna see reality, man. Y'all gonna see the reality of it. Y'all. I need a fucking cigarette. You lucky I fixed my motherfucking
Let me go ahead.
You lucky I fixed my motherfucking alternator.
Let me read this super chat. Thank you for this super chat. Excuse me. I just don't understand the point of even being a socialist if you're not willing to build solidarity with our community. Are y'all Amish? The freak? That's a good point, and it's because they don't feel like it's almost like it's like yeah, we're in the same class, but they're still different kind of thing. It's like yeah, we're in the same class, but still, what do you mean still? Either they're in the same class and they have different beliefs, different understandings. Have you ever thought of this? What if their different beliefs and different understandings is a strategy by the ruling class to keep us separate?
Which it is.
To teach them all this bullshit, to teach them about racism, to teach them to be racist, to enforce that and reinforce it, to keep them away from teaming up with the other people in their same class. What if that's the point? Go ahead, Rome. You were going to say it is.
It is. And we got a lot of fucking work to do. And putting ourselves in boxes isn't going to help us at all, especially with the movements that we are trying to build. We're trying to build communist parties. We're trying to build, you know what I'm saying, shit for the community. Are you going to deny a Trump supporter of some fruits and vegetables when they come to your fucking community garden? Are you going to deny them clothing? Because I met homeless people that voted in Michigan, and they voted for fucking Trump. Mm-hmm. Because it was easier to get, like, man, y'all niggas don't know.
Let me answer this question.
Especially the niggas he let out of prison, bro. He let a lot of niggas out of prison.
Exactly.
A lot of niggas. I mean niggas, bro. He let a lot of niggas out of prison. So how do you expect for me to turn down my brother that voted for Trump because he got something out of that? Or he feels
you're telling me a white person who's a racist. Let's take the extreme. A white person who's a racist, but they're going through all the same struggles, can't put food on the table, can't take their kids to get regular checkups, can't take care of their own health. You're going to turn your back on them because you should know some of the things that black people have done. Do you know black people used to have fed racists, people that hate their fucking guts, because it was the right thing to do? And my mom is a testament to that. My mom, and this is where I get this from. My mom is a person, she fed the poor for decades in the projects. She was one of the people who would have those things that you do, Rome. My mom did that for decades. You don't think she came around racist people in her dealings? Sure. Who was in those same poor neighborhoods? Mm-hmm. Who 1 week ago was calling her a nigga? You think she didn't feed that person? She did. She did. This is a true story. It was a lady in Compton, lived on 117th. I'll never forget this. 117th Street, 107th Street. I'm sorry, in Compton. White lady lived there since it was all white. Didn't have the economics to get out. Despised what happened to that community that it turned black. Everybody knew that was a racist lady. My mom would go and feed that lady. 91-year-old white lady. She would go knock on the door. No, I'm coming in. I'm bringing you some food. You gonna eat this food? I'm putting it over here. Her name was Miss Elsie. We're putting it over here, Miss Elsie. You gonna eat this food up, okay? It's some good this and that. And the lady, yeah, thank you. She was a racist. Yeah, thank you. My mom nickname was Money.
That's my real last
Nobody even knows where that name came from, but I'm saying it came from because she could be depended on. That's to this day. Her sister enough Money. Can I speak to Money? That's her name. That's her nickname. But the point of the story is we have to understand people are people. Racist people are people too, and they're racist because they are confused.
No, they're saying hold on. They're saying policy violations.
For me again?
Yeah,
I haven't said nothing. I haven't said nothing. There hasn't been no but we're still live. What are they saying? I can still see the stream public and running. And we still have a lot of people watching it. So anyway, man, just let them say it in the comments.
Okay.
Unless we're live and it's public. We got 340 people watching us right now, so we're good.
Right.
But yeah, the point of the story.
I'm beautiful for that, man. That's a touching story.
Yeah, the point. Yeah, I was just about to break down, but I kept it together because just reminiscing about that type of stuff because it was like this lady, like she didn't have no family, so it was no visits, and if she did, they didn't visit her because she lived in this black neighborhood. And she's a racist white lady, and black people are helping her. So when you say, "Oh, I can't coalition," this is foreign to me. And why aren't you trying to affect people that way? Now, do you think that lady died with the same sort of racist beliefs in her heart that she had before this sort of interaction with my mom?
Hell no, she wouldn't have took no food from your ass.
That's what I'm saying, man. You can't be this way. You can't write off people forever. You just can't.
Just because, and it's so petty. It's so petty.
Yeah.
Over fucking politics, bro. Like, man, come on, man.
That is crazy. You're writing off people for life over politics. Not like the person shot somebody in your family, did anything specifically to you. This is the part, Rome, that I was saying. The left may not vote blue or red, but we're still conditioned in how we approach things in the duopoly. We're still conditioned to approach it the same way. Mm-hmm. Any last words, Rome? We're gonna be getting out here in about 5 minutes. I went a little long. I went a little long today because you jumped on, but great conversation. It's a great This needed to be had, I spoke this with Sabrina too. We need to have the conversation about who is the left gonna be teaming up? Who's okay to team up with? Because the reason the left hasn't teamed up with somebody is because we don't know where the boundaries are.
Yep. And then you guys,
we need to have this conversation.
Fucking gatekeepers. You're more. A lot of you guys are more gatekeepers than activists, and you need to stop.
Yeah.
You do more gatekeeping than you do activism. You talk about this isn't right. You're supposed to do this, and now I go and try to look up your history. I see nothing. But you're so quick to say this person isn't on the left. This person is whatever the fuck. Shut the fuck up. Get your shit together and go help some people, bro. Go do something with your hands, bitch. My fucking final thoughts. That's some Jerry Springer shit, but no.
That's some good. That's a good final thought there. No, were you gonna say something else right before I cut you off there?
No, just look out for oh, me and Sabby gonna be together in Boston. Oh no, god damn it. Me and JB gonna be together in Florida. Orlando, Florida pretty soon. So
you're gonna be out there with her too soon, but just not sooner than JB. You're going to JB first.
Yep.
Yeah. So
like right after right, and then I'm gonna be with Sabby, and then me and Nick gonna have a barbecue.
That's gonna be nice. So what I have to say is, if you are able to support us, Patreon is the best way to do that. Just look us up, Revolutionary Blackout. The actual URL is patreon.com/Revolutionary Blackout. You of course you got Rome's Tour for the Poor. You got My Mutual Aid scrolling down at the bottom there. Like this stream, please, so that more people can see it. That is very important. You may not understand how important that is. You might think it's trivial, but it's very important to getting more people to see this stream is that you like this video. So please subscribe. We're trying to hit 15,000 subscribers by their anniversary on April 1st. We need a little less than 800 subscribers. So if you're watching now and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you think you're subscribed, double check, because you could have been unsubscribed by YouTube. So make sure you do that. What they have up there.
We gotta give people time to grow. Most of us weren't like, oh my god, man. I wish we had more time, man. But holy fuck, man, I did so much bad things, so many bad things. Like
yes,
fuck what
me.
Like, come on, bro. Like if y'all niggas just don't know, bro. Like a nigga can turn a leaf, you know. Like y'all just give a nigga some time, you know.
Just give them a
chance. The only way they're gonna learn and grow is by reaching out to different communities or people from different communities, so they can see firsthand like this isn't how it really is. But whatever.
Yeah, I just don't understand you. Anyway, we've already revisited. we've already said it. Like I mean, who's saying that they're not teaming up? Maybe we need to start asking that question. Who are the people that's saying they don't want to team up? Maybe we need to identify if there are any common factors, traits, mannerisms in the people that are saying they don't want to do it. Because to me, it's clear as day that we don't have enough people. If we want to get anything done, we need to add to our coalition. That's, I mean, is as simple as that. And so yeah. Any last words? When can everybody see you again, Rome? Are you going to be live anytime soon? Tomorrow, the next day?
Yeah, I'll be live tomorrow. Okay. So y'all catch me real early. I basically do the wake up shows. I'm gonna let y'all call in again if y'all want to join and call into the show. Let your voice be heard, your thoughts be known. You can follow me on Twitter on Holy Rome. The E is a 3, and just look out for the space. I'm gonna be up around 9:30 East.
Okay. So Rome, on my shows, I like to leave people with a video. Typically, I go off the air and then put the video up for them to see. You ever been at a movie and then if you wait after the credits, they have like another clip? So I started doing that. But for today's episode, I'm just gonna play the video as we go out. A lot of you have seen this video, but I do want to play it again as we go out as the last thing of this particular stream. Thank you for everybody on Rockfin. Thank you for everybody who watched on Rockfin, watched on Twitter, watched on YouTube. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all of the super chats. We really do appreciate the super chats. And thank you for everybody watching. So we're going to close out with this video. After the video, we're going to go off the air, so we're not coming back. So just letting everybody know that. So here is that content. Enjoy.
Mrs. J.D. Milam, and I think this is the most ridiculous thing that has ever happened. The niggers are just as free as we are. They have the same opportunity to work and to build their part of the town just the same as we have. I just don't understand it and don't approve of it. I'm going to stand up for my right.
Thank you very much. Jim Knight with WALB Television News. We're soliciting the views of Albany people on the Civil Rights Bill. Would you like to give us your views?
Well, I think if they remain peaceful, it would be a lot better than perhaps the violence that would be concerned. Well, of course, being a Southerner, I'm not for it at all.
I see.
And I just don't know how it's going to turn out. I hope we don't have any trouble.
We're soliciting opinions on the Civil Rights Bill. Would you like to give us yours?
I'm sorry, but I don't think it's the time right now. I think they have equal rights, though.
Thank you very much. Would you like to express your views?
No, I don't think so.
How about you?
Nope.
What I'd have to say wouldn't be fit to go on air.
Thank you very much.
I don't like it. I think you're just trying to put something on us that we don't want.
I see.
We ought to have a national election on it rather than just letting 9 men tell us what we got to do.
And how about you?
I feel the same.
Fine. Thank you very much.
I sure don't like it, that's for sure.
I see. Do you feel this will have any effect on your life directly?
I imagine it will.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
afraid we might have niggers to live next door to us.
Thank you.